fuckers, welcome back to podcast. This is one that could have been quite good. There's some alright topics here, but probably won't, because I'm pissed off in general at life. It's one of those moods from me, and Judd's like tired out. Look at him, bless him.
I'm just sleepy. I didn't even do my hair.
Literally, that's one of the things that's been annoying me is my hair. I know, it's just... Maybe it's the autism. Maybe it's that just things feel like a bigger deal than they are. Maybe it's that, it's stuff like, all I want to do, it's my day off, just want to play some game, get excited for this event I'm going to, right? Because the event is to do with the game. Okay, right? That's all I want to do.
Okay.
My hair's in my eyes. People are like, oh, can I just ask you a question? Oh, do you want some of it? Oh, what are we doing about... And it's like, it's even stuff like my hair being in my eyes is annoying. Because it's like, when you're trying to... It seems like it's a big deal, right? Because it's just one thing you're trying to do. You know, one simple thing. That's all you're trying to do. And you can't even do that. You know? Do you ever get this?
Okay. Yeah, I do. I wouldn't say I'd get it if my hair went in my eyes or something.
But if your hair was always in your eyes and you can't see what you're doing to do with what you're trying to do, would that not bother you?
Probably not. No.
Why? Because it's fucking up what you're trying to do. So you can't do what you're trying to do.
I'd say, God, thank you for giving me such lovely, luscious long hair, and also thank you for giving me the ability to see, so that I may see my luscious long hair. And then, because I'm trying to drive,
I'd rather not be able to see.
I'd then crash and die, and I'd say, God, thank you for allowing me to die.
Thank you for allowing me to die. That one sounds about right, for fuck's sake. Coming up in this podcast, I've got a follow up to a story. Judd had an argument with someone on the internet. I got angry and different time. Oh, shock. Judd's bought a new car and I caught a sneaky sneaker on my new security cameras. And we might get some dating advice as well. Depends how long it takes us to get through all of that.
Oh, God.
This is all also why I'm kind of hungry and grumpy.
Nice.
Because, oh, God, earlier... I went to McDonald's on my day off, right?
Nice.
Kind of early lunch, but quite a big lunch. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be hungry before the podcast now. I'll just eat something quick after the podcast. So then my girlfriend's like, oh, am I cooking this tonight, or are you going to cook it tonight? I said, well, probably you, because I don't think I'm going to have any... I don't think I'm going to want any tea tonight. I'll sort myself out afterwards.
Okay.
So... I said that, and then I'm mid-playing the game, and I get a notification on the Amazon Echo going, tea's ready if you want it. And I'm like, I already fucking told you I didn't want it. So, and oh, God, plus, she knows I'm doing something as well. And then, after a bit, after 20 minutes or so, I get a knock on the door. Are you busy?
Who is it?
It was her. And
it was I put a knock on the front. Okay,
she opened on the door on the room I'm in, and she comes in with the plated food. Like, do you want this? No, twice, multiple times now.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So I had to instruct what to do with that. But the another annoying part about this is now I am hungry. So it's like, fucking hell, it's the worst time as well. It's not like I can just go down and heat it and eat it real quick. Because we're starting now. And then we've got videos to do. And then I'll probably have to eat it after that. But that takes a couple hours. So, oh, God. So that's not only is the whole thing annoying, being hungry is annoying in this scenario, but there's an added layer to the fact that me being hungry right now is even more frustrating. I must be some sort of maniac. Do people? Do you know anyone else who thinks like this?
No, I mean, I get the not being listened to thing. I get. I understand that a lot. that it really annoys me, like when somebody hasn't listened to something I've said, even if they end up doing something nice for me. I'm like, no, I'm like, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
I specifically said,
and it's like once a week, man. It's like once a week. Yeah. So I don't know, but just do you not even like? I don't know. I should maybe move on. I literally am. My heart's hurting right now. It's probably not a good thing. That's like not even a joke. Oh God.
There's a scene on Monster House where this guy's like playing this arcade machine. He's got to run for some reason, and he's about to run off, but then he stops, turns back round and grabs this like slice of pizza from this little kid, and he like shoves it in his face and like eats it really obnoxiously in front of this kid's face, like he's going you need to do that to your food, to Jasmine. Like, just run downstairs, grab like a handful, just go.
Well, the thing is, by the time we've done with this, I probably will be hungry enough to do that, which is quite ironic. Oh, but Judd, I've got a follow-up for you. You were very intrigued last week by the mystery story of my missing sock.
Oh, fucking hell, no, don't, because I might actually get scared.
There's actually more to the story. I can't believe there's more to this story. If you don't know what this story is, you should probably go back and listen to last week's, but I'll give you a brief kind of overview. I've got a distinctive pair of socks that looks like a Christmas jumper, and for some reason, we saw one of them in the middle of the pavement, near my house, but not near enough to the point where it's just like fallen out the washing basket or something. It was like 200 meters away, and it can't have like blown away or anything, or anything like that. And it was so weird that I thought maybe it's a coincidence and someone else has the same socks. But no, I looked around. It was only one of my socks. So somehow it's disappeared from inside my house and landed there. And it wasn't there. We saw it walking to the shop. It wasn't there on the way, but on the way back, it was there.
I want to clarify. They saw it whilst they were walking to the shop. They didn't see the sock walking to the shop. I just thought.
No, because that's even more confusing. Because it wasn't on the way. That's the point. We didn't see the sock when we were walking to the shop. But we did see the sock when we were walking back from the shop, and it was in a very obvious place in the middle of the pavement. So then, later on, when I confirmed to my girlfriend that it was my sock, she went out to try and find it, and she couldn't find it. The sock was missing.
It had fucking gone, because somebody had broken into your house, stolen the sock, then placed it there knowing that you'd seen it, and then they later moved it to fuck with you further.
It had just gone completely. And the thing is, if it was in the city, it would have been very obvious for her to see it, because it was... Well, the follow-up, Judd, is... the same fucking thing happened.
No.
It did.
No.
We were both... And the thing is, I've got a witness. I'm not bullshitting you. We were both walking to the shop again. Didn't see it at all. We were walking back, and it was right fucking there. It was there again.
No, it wasn't the same sock as well, was it?
Yes, it was the same sock.
No, fuck up. No, it's not. No. No, I don't believe you.
It's true.
To believe you. I refuse to believe you because then it is some sort of malicious intent.
Listen, right. You might think it's some sort of malicious intent. I'm not so sure. Bullshit, I am sure, because that's not the end of the story, Judd. I picked up the sock and brought it back with me, because at this point, like, I know it's mine. I'll wash it, and then I've got these socks. They're quite nice socks, actually, so I kind of didn't want to lose them. Yeah. So I brought it back, and I slapped it down in the middle of my hallway, right? Because I just didn't want to have to deal with it then. We had a bunch of shopping. I was going to get it and deal with it another time. I went to go and deal with it another time, and it had fucking gone, Judd. No, it's gone. No, I don't know where it is. It's disappeared. No, this is such a winding story. Seriously, I've not a clue where it's gone. I'm not even bullshitting. I maybe my girlfriend's moved it and she's not remembered or something, but she doesn't know where it is either. So I've not a clue. So I'm still left with one disappearing sock and one regular sock. If you want to Oh my
I
god, I
fucking
just
love
almost had a panic because as part of this story, I put the other sock of the pair in my background, and I just looked in the Discord view and I was like, oh, it's gone! But I turned around, it's not gone, it's just almost out of frame.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You know when you just gasp then, like my heart like jumped. Like my heart like really like actually jumped, like I was like, no, it's not.
I'm gonna end up finding this. Do you know what's gonna happen? I've set up these security cameras, like in case anyone's moving around my house. I'm gonna get a movement alert at like 4 a.m, and that sock will be like moving its way away from the house or something like that, like a snake, just like. Oh god, but yeah, that's.
Hate that fucking story. That's the scariest story that's ever been told.
You know when people tell their ghost stories, they're like, "Oh, I saw like an apparition of a woman or something." Yeah. No, this is the real shit. This is the real ghost story.
It really is though, because it's like, you know, somebody's like, a dang old orb flew into my mouth in California. It's like, shut up, you fucking psychopath. But this
and
is
how
like,
much DMT did you smoke before that?
yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
Whereas this is like actually like connected. People can potentially relate.
Yeah.
Apparently people couldn't relate to the pregnant Joker parody comic that has been floating around though. Nice. Especially you, Judd. Why don't you tell us what happened with you going on with that? Because this was hilarious.
People have probably like heard about this already because it started popping up a lot on my Facebook feed, and it's essentially it's this comic that is part of a set of comics which is supposedly meant to encapture the golden age era of comics, because that's the way it's drawn, and also like the guy even said it's because we're trying to be a bit more wacky with the stories, you know, a bit more kooky, a little bit crazy.
But it's a parody though, right? It's not
no
real.
No, it's not a parody.
But it's not actual official DC though, right?
No, yeah.
It's actual DC.
It's actually published by real DC as a run of comics that they are doing to honor in big quotation marks the golden era age of comic books. And in this comic book, the Joker.
Wait, Judd, you can't just move on so quick. I'm going to need a minute. I thought this was all like someone else doing inspired by.
It's real. No, it's real.
I'm just reading this article by Polygon that says the Joker is pregnant, and there's a perfectly reasonable explanation as to why.
I know.
It's
Shut
not
up,
a dream.
Polygon.
Wait. Let me just zoom in. Let me just check this. Let me zoom in on this one. A perfectly reasonable explanation as to why. Lies.
Let me tell you, there is nothing fucking perfectly reasonable about this explanation. Let me tell you how the Joker gets pregnant. This is verbatim from the same article. Okay. Now, it turns out that what actually happened is that he swallowed a bunch of mud at the same time that Satana, which is the magic lady who's dressed up like a skimpy, stereotypical Playboy magician. Yeah. Satana was cursing him.
Terrible character, by the way. What a stupid design and boring character.
She was cursing him, and something magical probably happened. Great.
Probably.
And anyway, he barfs up a little Joker mud duplicate.
They don't get it at all, do they? This is not what those comics were like. They weren't like that. Like, I know they had silly shit like, oh, the Batcopter and like all these like goofy ass things. It wasn't the Joker's pregnant and he's puked up a mud baby. What?
Yeah,
no.
A mud baby that sorry, it's my favorite like panel in anything ever. There is. I found it. Please react to this panel that I'm sending you on Discord right now.
Is it on the same article?
It's I don't think it's in the article, but it's about the comic. Look at that.
I've sent it. Oh my god, I can't show that on stream. It's too close. Judd's like laugh. Oh my god. What the hell did I eat? Said the Joker while holding a gun. and staring at his weird, like, mini-me goblin-esque naked son.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's looking at his disgusting fucking malformed creature of a mud baby son. Mud baby sounds like a slur, by the way.
Why is it a mud baby? What makes it a mud baby? It doesn't look like mud. He's got like Joker skin and stuff.
Because he ate a load of mud, and Zendaya curses
him.
Zendaya curses him.
You know, in the movie adaptation, she's gonna play her anyway.
Anyway, basically, the fucking stupid, fucking ridiculous comic aside, I never comment on anything on Facebook. Like, I only really use Facebook to look at memes and talk to my friends, but I saw because this whole comic blew up because everybody in the world went, "What the fuck is this?" And there were some people defending which of course there is. There's always going to be like DC comic stands that just will defend anything they do. But one of the responses I saw on this article was this guy had typed a comment saying, "Attention, idiot complainers."
Yeah.
And underneath he'd posted a link.
Wait, Judd, let me get it up on Facebook because I'm going to do his voice.
Okay. All right, go on then.
Wait, I'm nearly there. Here we are. I'm going to do his voice. He goes, "Attention, idiot complainers."
I knew that's the thing. I fucking knew that was the voice you're going to do. Anyway, so then he from the Simpsons episode where Bart and Lisa are watching Itchy and Scratchy, and Lisa says something about realism in cartoons. And
Did
Bart
you watch the clip?
Oh, no, I know the episode, I know that clip verbatim. I know that scene verbatim. So she says something about cartoons being realistic, and Bart's like, "Lisa, cartoons don't have to be 100% realistic." And Homer's sat on the sofa behind him, and another Homer walks past the window, because that's the joke, it's a cartoon and they're not being realistic.
Like when the Simpsons.
I know, good joke. Yeah. I know, nice one, Simpsons. You did fine. It's this guy who posted your fucking stupid clip that didn't do fine. Anyway. So this, he posted that clip, and I felt a mighty need to respond to this guy, which I quite surprised me actually, because I was like, I've never felt this urge before. I almost feel a bit like a thought as like upset Facebook mum. I kind of liked it.
This comment got a load of attention either, because Judd sent me the screenshot of it. It's got one like. That's it. It's not like the top comment or anything. He's just found a random dude called Jared with a cat as a profile picture.
Yeah. So,
in fact, his profile picture looks like a cartoon cat puking up a mud baby. Actually, while I'm looking at it, I don't know. Gross.
So any argument that you have about anything ever is just null and void.
Yeah, Jared. Shut up, Jared.
Yeah. But anyway, my response to this was, Jared, it's not about being realistic. No one wants to read your weird pregnant Joker fetish comic. I'd have expected that shit on DeviantArt, not published by DC Comics. Which then somebody else, another guy, another one, which by the way, that one laugh react that I have on that comment that I just read out, that one laugh react is from the original poster. So,
right, okay.
So I guess he actually saw the funny side of that, which I appreciate, I suppose.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I like that. This is the one that gets me though, because it's the person who responds to the comment you left, who also happens to sound the same. They're like, "Jordan, DC has done some extremely weird and outlandish comics. They're trying to emulate that idea. Don't believe me? They've done a story where the Joker survived being cut perfectly in half." Which is, I read that, and my immediate thought was, that is totally not the same thing. That is not the same thing at all. Yeah. That's quite cool and badass and violent and, like, visceral. This is, like, weird and, like, sexual and, like, gross.
It has weird sexual undertones, doesn't it? It's like...
Yeah, it's like kind of sexual, weird. And it's like puking like shit, and that shit's like a person, and it's... it's like the kind of... gross kind of. It's not a fun reaction. Whereas like oh my god, he's been ripped in half. That's like a feeling that can be fun. There's a reason why there's horror films and people enjoy those, but there's not like not many people are into like just like people puking and like smearing themselves around in it and stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what this sort of feels more like.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so basically this guy's whole argument here is that DC's trying to be weird.
Yeah, that's
Good
not
job.
that's not the problem we got with this.
I know. Good job. Good job. And anyway, my response to this guy was, okay, I still don't want to read a story about a baby crawling its way out of Joker's asshole.
It's weird.
It's fucking weird and gross. Which he never responded to.
Did anyone respond to that? Have we got any responses to that one?
No, I don't think I had any responses to that. Because it's like, what is the response to that? Well, I want to read a story about a baby crawling its way out of Joker's asshole. It's like, fucking, if you say that, you're going to end up on a list.
No one's going to admit to that. That's the thing. There's no way this comic's ever going to do well, because there's no way anyone's going to dare go out and buy that and have it on their bank statements. Imagine the credit check. You know, if you try and like buy a house or something and they do a credit check on you, they must have a special exception to say, did they ever buy that weird pregnant Joker comic? If they did, deny, send to a high security prison. In fact, do you know what? I think anyone who's willing to buy that comic is probably weirder than the comic itself.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's just, it also sort of like, to me, it kind of reeks of like this guy being like, oh, I didn't know that was that was a, because you probably don't even know what this is, but there's a fetish on the internet called mpreg, which stands for male pregnancy, and these fetishes usually appear in fan fictions, which this to me, it reeks of this guy fucking having some sort of weird mpreg fetish and him writing it into a DC comic. But he's also sort of gone, well, I didn't know. I didn't think it'd come off like that. I didn't know. But I could just imagine him like being there, be like, I didn't know this would happen. Gulp. I totally didn't understand that this was fake. Gulp. Wipe sweat off of greasy forehead.
Wipe sweat off of greasy forehead, because of course that bit's needed. Oh God, I feel like recently I might have been a greasy forehead person as well, though, Judd. Because I had an episode. Right, I know I turned up to this podcast quite like in a rage, and I had a similar raging episode recently. This is quite embarrassing, and this is my own way of punishing myself for it. Because what happened was, last weekend you were supposed to come round to my house, you little fucker, but you didn't, did you? You little bastard.
I got ill. I got ill and I started dying.
So I bought some drinks in and stuff like that to have when Judd were coming over, and another friend was coming over as well. Didn't end up coming over. So I'd got these drinks, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna have them. Like, you know, it's a weekend. I'd got a bottle of whiskey, and what I wanted to do, I don't know if you ever do this tactic, because our alcohol tolerance, I'm actually not sure if your alcohol tolerance is that high, or if you just kind of like a drunk anyway. But my alcohol tolerance is like so high that I have to try. If I'm gonna try and get drunk, I have to like actively take like extra steps. I can't just drink alcohol, so I have to like make sure I've not eaten anything in a while. For most people, that's a terrible idea.
Okay.
But this can be quite risky, especially if what I'm drinking is whiskey.
Okay.
Because when you're drinking spirits, there's like a tipping point, isn't there, when you're getting drunk, between like being drunk and merry and a good point, and then just too far in there. There's like where you're too drunk, you can't remember anything, and you're acting wildly off like kind of like almost childish instinct.
Yeah.
That moment, you've got to teeter on the edge of that for the perfect amount of drunkenness. You've got to balance yourself on that fence. When you're having spirits,
you gotta ride the edge.
You do. You gotta like surf the wave of that, you know?
Yeah.
When you're having spirits, they're stronger. So each drink gets you a bigger chunk towards that line, so it's harder to balance on it more. And especially if you've not eaten anything, because you get drunk a lot even more quick. Now, I was tactically waiting a bit. I was playing Apex, which shouldn't have been. And I was drinking this whiskey, and I was thinking, right, I'm going to order food later, but I'm going to do it later, specifically once I've gotten, like, kind of drunk, because I want to be able to get kind of drunk, and I don't want to just, like, eat a whole pizza and then not be able to get drunk at all. That was my plan.
Okay.
What I didn't anticipate was I stumbled right over the fucking fence, Judd. I fell right off the... What analogy were we using? Were we using a fence? Are we using surfing? Which one were we using?
All of them.
Okay.
All of them.
I went to climb up on the surfboard that was on top of the fence.
Just say fence. Just say fence.
We'll do the fence.
Yeah.
I went to climb up on the fence and balance on it, and what accidentally happened was I accidentally jumped at the fence, fell right over it, and rolled down the hill the opposite side of it. That's kind of what happened, because I just got far too drunk. And before I was drunk, right, I was playing my game, and it wasn't going well. I was dying a lot, and I was like, oh, well, this is quite good, because I don't really give a shit. I'm just kind of like enjoying being in this game because I've got this event coming up, and I'm part of it. But then after that tipping point, my like animal instincts kicked in, and I started getting pissed off like really quickly straight away. So I ended up like wanging my mouse or something, and it ricocheted back and smashed my monitor.
Good God.
Oh. But do you know what was happening? There was other stuff that was happening as well. As in, I was trying to... My chair's on wheels, right? If you're watching the video version, you can see. It's on wheels, but I am on a rug that makes it slightly harder for the wheels to roll, but it's still pretty easy. I don't know what I must have been cursed or something, because I couldn't roll back. Sometimes, when I'm rolling back from my desk, I'll put my hands on my desk, and then I'll like kind of push my bum back with my feet to roll it backwards, right? So we're trying to do that night. Right. I guess I was drunk. Maybe being drunk didn't help with this. Maybe that was part of the problem here. It's a really simple thing. And I just ended up like pushing my desk over, like towards my wall. I couldn't move back, and I'm like trying to push more and more against this desk to get me moving back, and my chair's like stuck somehow. I don't know what was happening. So like my third screen that Judd's face is on in front of me is falling backwards. There's a bunch of boxes on it, and my PlayStation's falling backwards because there's a gap between the wall and my desk for like sound stuff and where the lights go and all that sort of thing. So all of that's like tipping down there, and I'm like, that's happening mid-game and all sorts. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm getting pissed off. I wang my mouse, it smashes the screen. So then, I'm at a point where I'm far too drunk. I don't really know what's going on. A bunch of my shit's fallen off my desk. My screen that's quite important to a lot of stuff I do is broken. So I just grabbed it and pummeled the shit out of the screen. Because I'm thinking, it's broken anyway. I'm quite cross. May as well get my anger out. You know? That's what I was thinking. Right. Okay. It didn't really work. What it did do was just make me just feel despair and utter like what the fuck for the whole situation. Kind of like what I was when I turned up to this podcast, except I was too drunk to deal with it. So then I went to bed to... I wasn't streaming any of this, by the way, so you can't go back and watch the VOD of it. If I was, I would have probably deleted it instantly the next day because it would be very embarrassing. Although I would have kind of liked to see the evidence of what exactly happened myself. But anyway, so at this point, I think I went to bed, and I think it was like, right, well, I'm gonna have to order a new monitor then because I'm gonna need it as soon as possible. Yeah. So I went on, and the one that I had already is sold out, and I'm not even sure they sell them anymore. So instantly, that's another level of despair that my drunken, fucked up brain couldn't deal with. I ended up ordering the one that I'm using now. I'm pretty happy with it, actually. It's a slight upgrade. It's made by the same people, but it has high dynamic range. It's slightly faster, so rather than 144 hertz, it's 165, which is good because I've got a PC that can actually run games at that now as well. And it's got thinner bezels around the edge, you know. So it ended up being an upgrade. I can't really afford to buy a new monitor right now, but what else am I going to do? I've got too many my job uses this as well. So I can't just not have a computer screen. So that's annoying. And like the only reason I knew I'd done this was the next day. I woke up, I'm like, oh, I've ordered a screen. So, but anyway, I think I must have passed out on the bed. I think I must have passed out on my bed after ordering this freaking screen. Because later, I woke up at a weird angle on the bed, being like, oh, where am I? Like, you know, one of those where I'm still quite drunk, but I'd like passed out for an hour, to maybe between 1 and 3 hours. I don't know how much it was. And this was at like 20 past midnight. At this point, I'd woken up. I'm like, oh, I'm in like a right mess. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I don't know where I am. And I wake up and I kind of like, oh, shit, yeah, I remember what happened. But my main problem, I'm thinking, is, oh, for fuck's sake, I've missed my food as well. They're like, because it's past midnight, I can't order the food anymore. Like, this is like one of the main things I was waiting for to do, and all this shit's happened between. So, oh god, and that was all freaking me out. So I ended up having to order from a place that's open past midnight. I had to order from Domino's rather than somewhere that's actually got a reasonable price.
Up. You didn't, like, just go back to sleep. You stayed up. Okay.
Yeah, because I was like, well, I'm determined to get something out of this night. I ordered this food, and I was thinking, you know, should I have even done that? Is that like a dick thing to do? Like, to order past midnight and then come and this seemed fine with it, I think. I thought it might cheer me up a bit, because I felt awful at that point. I'm still quite drunk at this point as well. But, like, sober enough. You know, like, I know what's going on at this point now. And I did remember all the stuff that happened after this point. So I got my pizza. Well, after I'd ordered it, I went back to go and sit in the bedroom for a bit while waiting for it, because my tablet was in there to watch stuff. And then, as I was about to sit on the bed, well, I looked down to move the covers, and I was wearing this same hoodie that I'm wearing today. It's got a big print on the front of it. The full thing's got a print. And I looked down to move the covers, and the print wasn't there. I was like, what? What's going on here? I was wearing the hoodie inside out. At some point during all of this, I'd taken the hoodie off and put it on inside out.
Right.
What? I just left it that way. I didn't even bother. I just left it like that. I got my pizza. I ate it. I saved something for the next day. And I'm like, right, this is a write-off. I know that this is like a shameful, awful experience. I'm just gonna take the loss. I'm just gonna, you know, when someone says just take the L, I fully felt it. Fully felt that vibe from this one. Yeah, but look, I might not have as much money as I probably should do right now, but I've got a slightly better monitor, I had a pizza, and I still got to play games that night, so...
Yeah.
Did anything really go that wrong?
I'd chalk that up to a win.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Plus, it made me rearrange my desk and everything like that. Like, my PC's, like, right there now. It's on my desktop. So I can see how pretty it looks and everything, and it's a lot better for the airflow for the computer, and all sorts of stuff like that. I've rearranged my whole desk setup and so it's a bit better now too. But I don't know. Do you look down upon me more after knowing that, Judd? What do you think?
It's nothing that I hadn't done before. I don't think any of that's like nothing I hadn't done before.
Do you think it's not too bad then, actually, for a overly drunken pass out?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you got anyone pregnant, is it?
Bearing in mind I was on my own, like I weren't like out drinking with anyone. I was just like drinking whiskey to myself. I smashed up a screen and then panic ordered a pizza while wearing clothes inside out.
I think that's pretty like standard. I gotta be honest with you.
Okay, all right. Okay, I feel better about it now. What have you ever had any experiences like that? Especially, have you ever had one if you've ever drunk alone? But even not just that, just any other times where you've been like so overly pass out drunk that you've done anything like weird like that. He's thinking.
No,
It's probably too many to count. There's probably 1,000, but you just can't remember any of them.
That's probably it, to be honest. Oh, I remember getting really drunk on a night out one night, and I shouldn't have been out in the first place because I was at work the next day.
Always the case, isn't it? It's always in a scenario where you really shouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And this is back when I was still working for Solar Frame as well, walking around posting leads.
Solar Frame.
Yeah. So I had to be in work the next day, but I went out and I got fucked up, and I was out with my friend Tom, and Tom ended up leaving. Tom was like fucked up as well. I think Tom was more fucked up than I was, but he ended up leaving and going back with his uncle, and I stayed out for like an hour or two after because there were some people I knew around town. And I ended up getting fucked up, and I couldn't like find any way home. I don't mean like I couldn't find a way home because there was no taxis or anything. I mean, I was so fucked up.
You just
that
didn't know where you were going, things like that.
Yeah. So what I ended up doing was slumping over in in like just a fucking door frame somewhere, like you know, so like this the door obviously, and then there's like an arch or something in front of the door. It was something like that, and I was like slumped up against this door with this arch like above me because it was raining like crazy as well, and I was like just laid so fucked up, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm like going to die if I don't get shelter tonight. And I just like really like
I don't know why I laughed at that.
I was like I need to sort something out. So really like fucked up. I remember like just pulling my phone up and like calling the first number that I could, and I just held it up to my face.
Wait, so you didn't even know what number it was? You just kind of slapped your hands on your phone, hoped that it dialed.
I picked my phone and I went, help! So it was my granddad.
Oh, thank God for that. That's a decent one. It could have been anyone. And it ends up calling like a building surveyor or something.
Ends up calling. Yeah. But anyway, so I was like, Granddad, help. It's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm fucked up, Granddad. I was like, Pop, I'm fucked up. Help. Peepaw, please.
Oh, God. That's not that bad at all. What, did he just come and pick you up?
No, it was the absolute look of fucking shame on his face as he like pulled around in his car, which by the way, this is 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. He's like pulling it round. He's obviously like been woken up by my call, and I'm just fucking slumped. Like I'm still there. I didn't move.
The thing is, you know what? If you'd have picked my number, I just turn off my phone at night. I don't give a fuck. I turn my phone off.
I know.
So no one would be able to get in touch with me. So you'd have been fucked if you'd have picked my number. But also, if you could have told him where you were. Like, he managed to find you. You must have told him where you were. So how did you not, like, figure something out from there, then?
I just didn't. I was just fucked up, and maybe I was like, I have fallen, and I choose not to get up.
Oh my God. Well, I think anyone listening to this should vote. You can tweet at TweetsBadly on Twitter and let us know which drunken pass-out story is more shameful. I'm biased. I think mine is probably more shameful than that, actually. But maybe it's because it happened to me. Maybe Judd knows that the look on his granddad's face was enough to suppress that.
I have to say then, though, because I still... had to go into work the next day, and I did go into work, and that was fucking awful. I honestly don't think I've ever felt closer to death in my entire life. Like I had to walk non-stop because they gave me the fucking tracker that day as well. They occasionally.
Oh yeah, because it's leaflet post and it's posting leaflets through people's house doors. Right, so they didn't have trackers when I when I did
They
it.
started doing it, and they only gave it to certain people every now and again. But for some reason, they decided that day they were going to give it to me, so I couldn't stop. I had to keep walking.
Maybe
and
it
I
was a
just
cruel
kept
joke.
going.
Maybe someone tipped them off and like, hey, this fucker's hungover.
Yeah, maybe I
Well,
won't be surprised.
at least now you don't have to walk everywhere. And you can.
I could have driven.
You can. Exactly. At least now you can drive, as long as you don't get that drunk. But speaking of you driving, though, Judd, you got a new car, right?
I got a new car.
Anything
I got it.
interesting surrounding your new car?
I was driving it earlier, and my gas touched the. I put the pedal to the metal, as they say, and it wouldn't come back up. It wouldn't come back
This
up.
is over
So-
£3,000 Judd spent on this car, which actually isn't a lot for a car, relatively, but
I don't know what that was about. I quickly knocked it back up with my foot. I realized what was going on, like, straight away.
or what, you like hit it with the
Um,
side? You hit the side of it or something?
I like it, like, went all the way down. I like lifted my foot up to, like, like just lift my foot back up off of the gas. Realized the pedal wasn't coming with it, and went so I quickly put it in neutral. So know
Right.
that, like, obviously it, like, my car then started going, but it
Yeah,
didn't
but
fucking
it's not going to
fly
speed
off.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
good
so-
thinking.
so-
That I would have just slammed my brakes.
So no, I couldn't have done. But anyway, I quickly, like, flipped it out, and it didn't feel stuck. It just didn't come back up. Just
Right.
and it's not done that at all before. I've had it, like, pressed all the way down before, but I don't know. I mean, it shit me up a bit, obviously. But I guess I'm just not gonna do that
Maybe
again.
just never have it all the way down, because
Yeah.
you can still
Yeah.
accelerate pretty much. I think it just does all the acceleration without you even needing to put it all the way down.
Yeah,
so-
I know. So
Uh,
it was.
Yikes.
Yes.
Okay. So
But
nice
apart from
upgrade
that-
then to your old car. That's an
apart from that-
upgrade.
Apart from that, it's been great.
Does it like handle better and things like that? Because Clunk was like,
Fucking it drives like a dream. It's awesome. Like, it feels really nice. And,
did you
and
test drive it before you bought it?
Yeah.
Okay,
It felt
good.
felt great,
Because that's important, I think.
and it still feels great. It feels like a really great car. That's the only problem I've had with it, and I feel like that's why it shit me up so much, because
Yeah.
it was. I was like, it's been totally fine. It's been great, and then, well, whatever. I'm not
Yeah.
too worried
Well,
about
keep
it. I'll be
my
honest.
advice to you, Judd. I know it's a better car and you've spent a bit more money on it, but keep an eye on it. Make sure your your coolant and all your fluid levels are right. Check them fairly regularly, and your tires and all that. Because my first car I bought felt great, and it felt
Yeah.
fine, and it was an absolute nightmare. So just keep an eye on it. Is all I'd say. Try and maintain it and things like that, because it can cost you thousands otherwise. But. Okay, well that's good then. I'm glad we at least got a bit of content out of it, but
Yeah.
otherwise it's doing quite well.
Yeah. No, I actually I love it. I do love it. It's just that's the only one thing. On the biting point in the clutch is, like, really high, but, like, so I'd
It's
say
got to be
it's
better
even
than Clunk's was, though.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd say it's even slightly higher than Clunk's, but it's not, like, it was a lot more easier to stall Clunk.
Right.
Like, I swear to God, if I was ever going under 10 miles per hour in Clunk, it'd stall.
Yeah.
So, but with this, it's like the biting point's really high, but it's like
You're
a lot
confident
more
you won't stall it,
yeah.
though.
No, I've stalled it like quite a few times, but I think that's just I think that is just the biting point's really high, and I need to get used to it.
It
being
might be
not,
worth looking into if you can get a new clutch for it, just out of
Yeah.
maintenance, because I found on one of my cars that did change where the biting point was. And it might be that the clutch has worn out or something. I don't know. Maybe just ring up a garage, ask, say, biting point of my car's like really high. I'm wondering if like maybe it needs maybe a new clutch might help with that, and it might be a good thing to check out. and just ask them, and they'll probably tell you. Because the garages nowadays, most of them I find don't have time to mess people about. You know, how you don't want a garage that's gonna like upsell you or charge you more. Often they're like, "Oh, it's this, just whatever, bring it in," or like, "No, it's gonna be fine." So all right, that sounds good. The main question with it though, Judd, is have you named the car yet? That's the important thing.
I've not. I'm not. I was thinking something classy. I was thinking
maybe
something
classy.
Like...
Why you call it classy? Well, it's an Asian car, so does that make a difference? Are we going to get cancelled here? Maybe let's forget about that. Actually,
let's not.
Do you know what? I think typically it either someone else names your car, or it gets named as a result of like how it feels to drive. You kind of have to form a bit of a bond with them sometimes first, don't you?
Yeah.
Although, having said that, my car's not got a name. I've been driving it over 2 years, so I don't know. Maybe I should name it.
You've not bonded with it.
Maybe I'll call it Scratchy because I used a kitchen scourer to scratch mud off of it, and the tiny scratches all over it.
Why would you do that?
Because it was glued to the car. I'd not washed it in like 2 years, and then the mud was part of the paint, so I had to. It actually could have been worse for getting that mud off, but it wasn't the best thing to do. It's fine because there's a place near me that literally is a specialist at dealing with stuff like that. So before I have to hand this car in from the lease, I'm going to take it there and make sure the paint's perfect. So, well, there's that. I mentioned my cameras earlier, Judd. I like these because they're technology. Smart home cameras. They're pretty cool. And I set them up recently with my grandma. She helped me because I had to get on a ladder and drill holes into brick up the side of the house and things like that. Spotted some cats on them at night time. Kind of fun to see it in the morning. I go, there's a cat outside. But recently, they actually caught someone on the camera.
All right.
So they immediately paid for themselves. I mean, you know we live in Mad Max around here. But it actually wasn't bad. It was I just installed them the day before, and I'd just shown, and my girlfriend had come home from a trip. She weren't there when I installed them. And she'd come home the next day, and it were maybe 3:00. And I'd recently, like half an hour or so, I'd shown her them, shown her all the features. Oh, that's quite cool. And then we were in the kitchen, and it dinged. And I'm like, oh, why is it gone off? And the first thing it shows you on the notification is like a screenshot of who it's caught, or like what it's caught, because if it's a pet, if it's like a cat or something. And it was a child in a tracksuit.
Oh.
And I just went, there's a kid on his drive. And she went, what? So I rushed out to see what was going on, and they weren't there anymore. But there was a group of 3 or 4 kids walking. You know how my front drive is, the green next to it. They were walking on the path that's I could see them through the bushes.
Yeah.
So I said I was pretty confident that the kid who had gone on our drive was part of this group. I think I'd seen the exact same tracksuit bottoms they were wearing through the bushes. So I don't know, maybe you can tell me if this was too harsh, Judd, because I shouted, "Oi, don't come on our drive again." And I said, "We've got cameras, you know, I can see you." And they shouted back to me, "Oh, I wanted to see that thing in your garden or something. I just wanted to look at that thing."
Yeah.
And I knew what I'd looked at the clip. I knew what they'd gone to look at. We've got a bat hanging from a tree. It's like an ornament in our garden. It's a weird story.
Yeah.
My grandma got it me for my 25th birthday. Don't know why, but because she got me it, I thought, well, I'm hanging it up. You know? Yeah. So, especially because I live across the road from her. If I don't, she's gonna know. So it's there. But this kid, rather than just looking at it, opened our driveway gate, walked all the way up to this thing, and then went, and ran off to, like, show off in front of their friends. So I said, I don't care. Don't come on my property again, or I'll call the police. And I wanted to say, you little shit, but I thought that would maybe diminish my argument a bit. So then they just kind of all walked off. Is that too much or not? I hate kids,
No,
so for me, I think it's fine.
I would have said more. I would have said, look, if you come on my drive again, I'll string you up like that fucking bat. That's what I would have said.
Yeah, that's a nice one. It's just like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
How I can't believe the first response was, I was just trying to look at that thing, as if that's all right then.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're just trying to burgle you. Fuck
Yeah.
off. I told my mum, because my mum got us the cameras as a present for Christmas, so I thought I'll tell her so she knows they've already been useful. And she said, well, they might have wanted to take it. They might have tried to take the bat. And that's like, no, that's kind of got sentimental value to me now at this point. So, yeah, pretty good. Well done, cameras. Right then, one last thing then, Judd. Dating advice.
Oh,
Okay.
Christ.
Reddit needs our advice.
Oh, fuck.
They need it. Okay.
It's the worst person in the world giving advice to the worst collective group.
Hence why we're doing it. This is terrible advice, but it's going to be great.
Okay.
So I'm on r/dating advice. Okay. And I've sorted by top of all time. And the highest voted one has 25 votes. That's not many. It's from 2 years ago.
That's not promising.
I think people would just post to ask Reddit or r/advice or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we're gonna be using this one. So this is the story, and then we've got to give them a solution. Okay. It says I can't even imagine myself dating. It's just something that happens to other people. Adults. Like I'm like a kid. I've never been in a situation that was even remotely sexual. People just don't see me that way. Even in middle school, when everyone was playing spin the bottle, I was excluded. I just wasn't let in because I wasn't considered an equal, a sexual being. I just was so beneath everyone that they collectively decided that I simply do not possess the ability and the right to have any sexual thoughts. And to this day it is true. I'm in university, and when people discuss something related to relationships, I'm quickly booted out of the conversation, even physically sent out the room. What? And like I've said, I've never been in any kind of situation that someone hinted they might be interested or would consider me. Rejection is one thing, but to not even be considered is worse. Can't imagine myself making some kind of move or flirting or anything sexual. Just wasn't for me. I don't even look like an adult. I see girls that I'd be interested in, but I remember that it's just not for me. Thoughts? What were you thinking about that?
So, I'm not being awful, okay? I'm not.
But are you just ugly?
No, that's not what I'm going to say.
That's the joke. This is all jokes, by the way. That's the point of this whole segment.
No, this isn't a joke.
Okay, Judd's one isn't a joke.
Is this person autistic or have some form of autism?
It sounds like it to me. It sounds very possible.
It sounds like this. First of all, this guy doesn't get it at all. But it also like. Why is everybody doing this? Like,
yeah,
I
think there's something going on here. I mean, it sounds like that they've just not actively engaged in any of it either. But the bit that gets me though was physically sent out the room. Were you actually like, oh, we're going to talk about sex stuff now, so you should leave?
Yeah, you should get out.
Is that what happened? I think that needs more context because that one sounds a little bit what?
And it's like, and if that has happened. What's their reason for doing that? Because I look young. I look like I'm 15. I'm not. I'm 24 in 2 weeks. But that was a slight reminder to you, by the way. That I know you forget these things.
What am I? I don't forget birthdays, by the way. That's more your thing. But also, so what am I going to do about it?
No, well, I don't know.
we don't do anything for these sorts of things.
I thought maybe you'd sacrifice something in my name, but okay.
maybe.
Anyway, so
but I don't know. I mean, especially if this person's like actively expressed these sorts of thoughts and feelings, because this quite kind of comes across as it's like by choice. Comes across as like you don't want to be involved in any sort of sexual thoughts or activities or anything. So if that's the case, then they're going to actively try not to involve you in them because it seems like you don't want to. So people could be, I don't know, that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, because it doesn't. I feel like if somebody did that to me, like if they were like, "Oh, we're gonna talk about sexy times now, you gotta go," I'd be like, "What the fuck?" But it doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like
I
this guy
think
even
this
really...
person needs to find someone very outgoing, and they need to actively try, like, talk to them about something sexual in a funny way. Get a bit used to it and how that sort of thing goes. With someone really outgoing, because then they will lead the rest of the conversation, is what I mean by that. And then you can get used to it a bit, and then you'll be more used to being part of those conversations. Or maybe they're just ugly. Yeah.
I hate to
Actually,
say
I'm going
it.
to go with
I
the
hate
ugly
to
one.
say
I think
it.
it's the ugly one.
I hate to say it, but maybe they are just really ugly. Maybe they are.
Could be. What if they're like? What if this is not a human? What if this is like?
He said dog. He said dog. I read on the internet that white girls love fucking dogs. Has it been lying to me?
That's why they were physically sent out of the room.
Yeah,
Their owners were getting it on, so they sent them out.
Yeah.
They're a dog.
Yeah, they're a dog.
We figured it out.
They were a
finally.
dog the whole time. We took the fucking big trench coat off, and it was two dogs fucking stood on each other's backs.
And
God
not only
damn
that, Judd, ugly dogs. What
Ugly
even sexy dogs?
Fuck.
What's the top comment on here? If you want to date... This is so funny. The top and only comment on here is by someone called Straight Hyena.
Oh, jeez.
Weird name.
Okay.
But they've said, if you want to date, then make it... Wait, if you want to date, then make dating for you. I think they mean then make dating for you. I think what they're trying... It's a terrible, like, kind of like slogan way of saying you have to actively engage in trying to do these things. You can't expect them to come to you. I know it's not natural to you, but you have to. Otherwise, it's never going to be natural. It's the same with anything. The original poster just put, what? So they just still don't get it. I think I'm seeing a trend. I think I'm seeing a reason here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's hit up another one of these. This one's called "Am I Wrong?" It says.
Yes. I'm just gonna fucking preemptive strike this one for you. Yes.
I'm 26, male. And sorry, I just looked across to the description of this fucking subreddit, and it said under construction. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's why it's not getting many upvotes. It's a new subreddit. No.
Oh, okay.
Created February 2009. It's still under construction. Fucking hell. Anyway, back to this. I'm 26, male, and I walked out on a date with a chick. Okay, she was cute and all, but I really don't have patience on certain things, right? Okay. Anyways, we were talking and things were going good, and then she started talking about guys she rejected. I didn't really care until she told me this one story about some ugly guy trying to shoot his shot or whatever. I didn't really care until she started bashing the guy. Growing up, I was called ugly hundreds of times. I could really relate to the guy. Then I paid the tab and left her there. Not sure if I was overreacting or not, but I really hate people being called ugly unless it's deserved. I also hate gossip. That's not how I would have handled that.
No, you know what? I gotta say, originally I was like, this guy sounds like a fucking douche. I mean, first of all, he called the girl a chick, which
he's called Lona Stoner 95.
Okay, I don't like this guy. Overall,
he is a douche still.
Yeah, he is a douche. But I gotta say about the situation, based, pretty fucking based. Like,
this is quite common, I think, isn't it?
He's like, you know, even the whole thing where he's like, you know, I weren't super interested in this chick telling me a story with a guy. Like, you know, he's still a douche. He sounds like he's quite an avid watcher of Andrew Tate by the sounds of him.
Not anymore. He's in prison.
But it also sounds like this girl's an absolute cunt. So I like... Yeah. Well,
in this scenario, right, for starters, I don't owe this person anything. I'd call them out. I'd be like, what? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
And it'd probably start an argument. I'd be like, well, we're obviously not getting along. I think we're going to go because I don't think this is working out. And I think that's right. I think just leaving someone somewhere is a bit of a dick move. I think you can probably get around that. And you can probably also make someone think about what they've said. If you say to them, well, you don't have to like be argumentative or aggressive. You don't have to be confrontational with it. You can say, I have to be honest, this sounds kind of like how I sound like I kind of used to look like this guy, or I can relate to kind of being treated like that, and it felt awful, and I don't know. I don't think it's right to treat people like that. I have to say, if you say something like that, it might make them rethink it. And in this scenario, I don't know. Just what? Plus, like, then you can leave on better terms. Someone might think. I don't think it's awful to do this, but I think there's better ways you can go about it. Maybe he's just ugly.
Maybe he's just ugly. Maybe he's autistic. He sounds it.
maybe the guy's just ugly. Could be that one.
Maybe they're both ugly. Maybe they're both ugly on the inside.
Yeah.
That's inside. Yeah.
There's way more comments on this one.
I'm just gonna say my final takeaway on the whole thing is like, I don't think you're wrong in this situation, but in everything else that you've ever done in your life, yes.
Everything else we know about you, other than just this situation, it's all red flags. But I don't know. Even this situation, it's not like a good thing either. It's not a good way to handle it, but could have been worse, I guess. Right. Top comment on this says, "You do not have to continue a date with a mean person. She was throwing you red flags, and you paid attention." Yeah, that's good. It's better than. To be honest, though, another thing, you could just like steer the topic somewhere else, play out the rest of the date. You might even have fun for the rest of the date and be like, well, that whole thing about what she was saying about ugly guy's too much for me. I maybe won't call her back. Does that too. That's fine.
You could do that.
If she kept doing like more stuff that was really annoying, you might be like, oh, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll see you. Bye. Or maybe like just bye, not see you. Whatever. People are agreeing. Like someone else says, I agree you should have left, but I don't think you should have paid for that bitch's meal. Oh my god! And then they call her a cunt. I don't know, man. Like
I don't know. I gotta say, pretty based.
Someone else says, you underreacted. If it were me and I were dating a girl like that who thought it was nice to bully and talk shit of other people behind their back. Also, we don't even know exactly what she said, really. Because it makes you feel better about self. Depending on where we are, she's either getting dumped in the trash. What, physically? Or dumped in a river? What?
Damn.
Okay.
Damn murder.
Okay, Reddit. Should we do one more?
Sure.
What's a small thing that always gives you the ick when in the talking stage? So this person says that for them, it's when someone say, oh my god, this is so like overly thought out. When someone says, he as a message or something. They don't like that. It gives them the ick. And for starters, this is such a based phrase for a start, isn't it? But like, I just listen, right? If you're gonna act, this is coming from someone who earlier was raging at a game because hair was getting in their eye, right? Bear in mind that. You stop giving a shit so much. Like, someone, you're thinking way too hard into. If you're getting bothered by someone saying he in messages when you're talking to someone, fucking step back a second. Maybe don't date for a while. Maybe don't do any of this for a while. Come back when you've got a better understanding of the world and yourself, because that is just not. It's nothing. It's nothing. It doesn't matter at all. Again, coming from someone whose hair was slightly in their eye earlier and was getting massively stressed over it. So that's how little a thing that is. But having said that, is there anything that would give you basically put you off someone? If you were texting them or talking on a dating app or something like that, and they said something.
Just if... I feel like it'd just be sort of if anybody sort of tried to act superior, I suppose.
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't think I could even give you an example of it. I just feel like if somebody ever tried to sort of like act superior,
I can try an example because I had something when I was on Tinder that kind of sounds similar that I remember kind of put me off someone. There was this one girl I was talking to. I actually kind of met my girlfriend on Twitter. I knew of her before, but and things like that on Tinder. Sorry, but before I matched with my girlfriend, there was this one girl I'd matched with who was like my favorite, who I liked the most. I thought she was the coolest. Not the coolest person, but out of the people I'd matched with.
Yeah.
And I like what I did like was that she was almost sarcastic and kind of, I don't know what the term is, maybe dry is the way, being like kind of stupid, like almost like a not as annoying version of that one character from, I think it's Bob's Burgers. Is it Martha? Is that what it is?
His wife.
No. No, it's not even from Bob's Burgers. She's got like a green coat and brown bob, and she wears glasses.
Darla, cartoon character. Yeah, that one. That's the one. Daria. Yeah. Daria.
Kind of
she
like that, but I find
Daria.
her. No. She reminded me of like what this sort of person would be like if I didn't find this sort of person annoying. This is such an awful description. It's hard to say.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's fine to kind of like engage in this kind of silly, dry, kind of almost like kind of degrading kind of humor. Like it's almost like mutually degrading. We were like almost like degrading each other in a way, if that makes sense. And I kind of liked that. I thought that was quite funny. But then, like, there was never a transition out of it. So she wouldn't just fucking stop. Like, there was no, like, transition to, like, meet and date or anything. So it was like, oh wait, you're just like this then. Because I thought we were doing some sort of, like, joke thing here. But then, so I don't know. I don't think I've described that particularly well. Because it's a hard thing to describe, isn't it? Because it's the nuance of the impression that's given across, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, like, being actively blatantly racist would probably be one.
I suppose. I suppose that'd do it.
if they'd murdered someone, that would probably do it. That would probably if they like actually fully sincerely admitted to murdering someone in cold blood, that might do it. That
I don't
actually,
know.
you know what else though? Maybe if they were ugly. Maybe they're just ugly.
Or autistic.
No, I'm one of them. Maybe I'm ugly. Oh no. What are people saying on this one? I think the comments are going to be more interesting for this one. Consistently using the wrong form of your and your. Ugh, man, like I know. I wouldn't like that. That would be like a yellow flag to me. It's not a red flag. But I'd be like, okay, you're a bit dumb. All right, that's fine. you know, you're kind of dumb in this aspect, but that's fine. It's like why is that the thing you've thought? Why is that the most upvoted thing? Why do people give a shit about this sort of thing so much? Would that get you?
No, it absolutely wouldn't get me. I'd definitely make a note of it. I'd be like, I'd like, because that I always sort of go, just like subconsciously in my head, I always sort of like go, wrong yaw, or wrong there. But I'd never bring it up, ever. I don't think, even if I then started dating that person, I don't think I'd ever, like, bring it up to him.
It also just doesn't really matter which yaw you use.
No.
It's all contextual anyway. It's only the spelling of it. In fact, it's pointless that we've got multiple versions of it. So, I don't really care.
I don't really care.
They don't like if someone's in the 20s or over and you've not figured that out. It's not something, probably isn't so much that. It's probably that they just don't want to. They just don't want to, like, take that tiny extra bit of brain power to figure it out. Yeah, but anyway. So this person doesn't like if they tell someone they're going to take a shower and then the reply is, without me? What do you think of that one?
What? I mean, like, really? That's what's going to do it for you?
I don't know. This
But,
one's more cringe to me, but like it just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends who you are. I think it depends which side of the relationship. Like if I received that from a girl, I might be like, ooh, you might be interested in doing a hooking up kind of scenario, you know.
She might suck my fucking cock.
You know, so that'd be quite kind of interesting.
would
But
seem
whereas for the opposite way around, like, you know, it's men are so easy. You don't need that shit from them. So I can find I can understand why that's like, ugh, you know, another one.
I would have to be honest though, regardless if it was a man or a woman, my response to that would be, well, yes, you're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I think that's
like,
the
well,
autistic response
I
that I
can't
would
wait.
think of.
I gotta get showered now.
I would quite like to give that response. I like giving real matter of fact answers to stuff like that that's not meant to be like that.
Have you ever seen that YouTube video of it's like that the guy in like a porno shoot and like he's in a bath and this really sexy woman comes in, she's like wearing a lifeguard outfit and she's like, you need a lifeguard while you're here at the beach, and he like sort of like really like confusedly like looks around and goes, this isn't the beach, this is a bathtub. And she's like walking over and she's like I gotta look after you, don't you feel more safe for me? And he's like, I guess. Like, he's really confused about the whole situation.
There's another guy who's
I think
confused about this situation, Judd, because they're the same sort of reaction as us. They've said, really? That's your deal breaker to the thing about like saying hee? But then they've gone on this weird rant, right? Where they've said, I went out with a great girl once, super hot, similar interest and life goals, good job, owned her own house, etc.
Yeah.
But she did like doing a bit of coke, so that was a huge turn off for me. Other things, rude to others, self-centered, overly tattooed, racist, lack of ambition, cat person, or doesn't like dogs. I could go on, but I'll get downvoted. I think they mean that they phrased this like all those things were about this person they were dating. But,
I was like, this person's fucked up.
But no, the thing that turned them off about this person they were dating was the coke that they were doing. But the things that it's because they say other things. They should have said other things that would have turned me off would be any of these things. But with rude to others, that's a difficult one, because what is rude to others? Because what people in the north consider rude, people in the south don't, if you're in England. And same the other way around, things like that. Different in different countries, different cultures. Self-centered, I guess it can work for some people, I suppose. Overly tattooed. Who fucking cares about people having any amount of tattoos nowadays? It's just like, it's just nothing. It's nothing. What if someone had scars all over the body? Then you can't be like, oh, I don't like them because they're just scarred everywhere. They're like, oh, because, you know, society would be like, oh, that's not fair, you know. Racist, yes. Okay. That's one that... Lack of ambition. The more I'm alive, the more I understand this.
Yeah.
The more pointless anything seems. If someone is a cat person, or if they're not a dog person...
Okay.
I guess, but only if you're looking for long term, because like if someone's desperate to have a pet and you don't like them, that can be a massive problem. But
I need clarification. We're talking about cat people as in people who are into cats, not some sort of grotesque combination of cat and man.
Well, actually, we were talking about cat girls. They actively don't like cat girls.
Okay.
And I think that one's reasonable too.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah. But there you have it. That's a podcast. Thanks for listening. If you do listen to this podcast, then you're not ugly. You're the only one in this whole one who's not been ugly. How about that one? If you've got all this way, then you can catch the video version of this podcast on YouTube and Twitch. You can catch it live there as well as the recording gets saved afterwards. If you want to listen to the audio-only version, you can listen to it on all good streaming platforms, that's such as Spotify, Apple's podcast platform, all of those sort of things. Spotify does actually have a video version too. There's also Clips Badly on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram for clips to do with all the channels, and Tweets Badly on Twitter. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. But as we do every time, we're going to finish with Judd's most famous saying,
I need to shit. I'm going to shit. I need to shit right now.